A couple more problems from 11.4, a couple of word problems. On page 670 having to do with net asset value. So the net asset value function, pretty simple equation here, three unknowns, A for assets, L for liabilities, and N is the number of shares outstanding. And we just plug that into the formula to get our net asset value. So for number 20, we have a situation here. It says a mutual fund has total assets, 25 million, total liabilities, 250,000, and 1,500,000 shares outstanding. We want to find the net asset value. Well, hopefully you're seeing just how straightforward this is. We're just using this formula. We're given the assets, we're given the liabilities, we're given the number of shares outstanding. Not a whole lot to do here, right? So net asset value here is going to be the total assets of 25 million minus the liabilities of 250,000 over the number of shares outstanding. And that's it, right? That's it. We just plug that into the calculator. 25 million minus 250,000. And we divide that by 1.5 million. And we end up with $16.50 a share. And that's going to be your net asset value for that mutual fund, $16.50 per share. Now you can also see examples here for net asset value on page page 666 for an example having to deal with these things, $16.50 a share. All right. So another way you'll see a question dealing with this material is number 26 on page 670. So let's look at this one. So here it's the same idea, just kind of takes it a little bit further. Here we're told the mutual fund has $250 million worth of stock, $10 million in bonds, and $1 million in cash. So that's its total assets. So let's add up those total assets. We're going to have 250 million plus 10 million in bonds plus 1 million in cash. Right? So this is stocks, bonds, and cash. These are all the liability or the assets. So we got 250, 260, $261 million in total assets. Okay, that's the total assets. All right, its liabilities amount to $1 million. So there's our total liabilities is 1 million. There are 13 million shares outstanding. That's our N in the net asset value function. And we want to invest $10,000 in this fund. How many shares are we going to be purchasing? So the idea here is first, we're going to find the net asset value, and then we're going to see how many of those can we get for $10,000. So once again, we're just looking at that net asset value function. Net asset value is assets minus liabilities over number of shares outstanding. So we just determined that our total assets was $261 million. Our total liabilities was only $1 million. And the number of shares outstanding is 13 million shares. So we can find the net asset value there of, well, 260 million is the numerator. And we're dividing by 13 million. So we end up with a nice even $20 per share. That's the net asset value. All right, if we spend $10,000, well, how many shares can we get for $10,000, right? Well, 10,000 divided by 20 is going to give us the number of shares of 500. So we can purchase 500 shares of this mutual fund given these circumstances. So we were given the total assets, we had to add those up to get the total assets. We were given the total liabilities, we were given the number of shares outstanding that allowed us to find the net asset value. We spend $10,000 at $20 a share, so that's going to give us 500 shares. All right, so that is section 11.4 mutual funds.